This is part 2 of the mailbag. As usual, it is cheaper to stop this video immediately because you will see some interesting stuff like high power IR diodes and disappointing IR lenses, an FPGA, a monster shield, pattern recognition cameras, Neopixels for a particular purpose, RFID and 433 MHz stuff, a SDR dongle, and at the end a LoRa surprise. Grüezi YouTubers, here is the guy with the Swiss accent, with a new episode around sensors and microcontrollers. So let's get started. 3 watt, 850 nanometers, 120 degrees. And this is 15 degrees. So what is this? These are lenses for LED lamps, and these are for infrared because this 850 nanometer is infrared, and I wanted to create a infrared transmission line which is quite focused and with much stronger LEDs than the normal ones in our infrared remote controls. This is material to experiment. And these are the LEDs behind them. Oh, so they come like that. This LED is on, but you don't see anything. Even the camera chip cannot see the infrared. And even with the lens on it, we cannot see anything. But I see a very shallow red glow on the LED, so it works, but we cannot see it, so we have to detect it. Now I have glued down one of these infrared diodes. Here we see the voltage produced by this infrared receiver diode, and you see here, if I come close to the beam, the voltage drops. Without infrared it's nearly 5 volts. With infrared it's very low, 0.16 volt. Now I do an experiment to measure the opening angle. Obviously at 160 degrees it's nothing. And here we see it starts, and here we have a full beam already, and this diode is rated at 120 degrees opening. And if we go here, we have even more infrared. And on the other side, if we start here, we do not have a lot, but now it starts to produce. So it's the opening angle is probably really 120 degrees. And now I have here the 15 degrees lens. Now let's put one of these across it, and now let's try out. I switched out the bench light. Now we should get good results. Full light here. Is not what I expected. I did not expect light here. I would have expected the light here, but this is quite strange. So the directionality of these lenses are somehow questionable, or my measuring setup probably is questionable. Now I just check if this light comes really from this diode, and it comes. If I switch off the diode, switch on the diode, switch off the diode. So it's definitely, the light is definitely coming from this diode here. Somehow disappointing. I think I have to do further testing on a bigger distance and maybe a little bit more precise. Next one. These are just special SMA connectors for semi-rigid cables. I have a small project for a bike quad. Next one. Interesting company. Lattice. This is a real big chip here. Lots of pins. And it is an FPGA. This is the first FPGA in this lab here, as far as I know. and this is an evaluation board. FPGAs is a different concept than the normal microprocessors. They are quite in fashion now, and I have no clue on how to use them. I know a little bit what they do. They have a lot of logic, programmable logic on it, and they have to be programmed completely different than normal MCUs. But this should be an evaluation kit where I can try to start to understand how to use them. So maybe we will see once something about FPGAs. Next one. This is the first arrival, which can be used by the robo tank. It is a H-bridge for motors, and it is a monster motor shield, and it should be capable to drive, I think, up to 30 amps. It seems it comes from SparkFun, but I'm not sure if this is just a knockoff and they even wrote the wrong brand on it, because it definitely came from China and not from the United States, and usually SparkFun is in the United States. Next one. Another RFID reader. This one is for Windows and it has a USB connection. Also for my RFID project. This one comes from United States of America, not from China. A huge package for a small device. What's in here? People who understand French, Jevois, I see. A black camera only. What the hell is this? A camera which is called IC. Is an interesting concept, at least. Jevois, smart machine vision camera. Sounds interesting. It is really quite small, but obviously high power. It has a fan on it, a camera with a fan. It's an interesting. This was a tip of one of my viewers. He said this could be a good idea for the robo tank, because this camera here does not only make videos or something like that, it even has no HDMI or similar connector. It just has a USB connector, and this is because this camera is very intelligent. It can do pattern recognition. At least that's what's promised, and I'm really keen to try such a camera. These days this pattern recognition stuff is interesting, and I think we have to have a look inside to learn what is possible and maybe what is not yet possible. Of course, I will compare this Jevois camera with another contender in the contest, and this is the Pixy version 2. I got this already a little bit earlier from SparkFun. This has a similar purpose. It should also be able to do pattern recognition. It has a slightly bigger footprint and it has no fan, but it is also not a closed case, so maybe this can get also hot and the user have to look how to get the heat off. I hope you will see a comparison between the two in the future on this channel. Maybe we will also compare it later once with a Raspberry Pi and OpenCV. Next one. This is a preparation for an important event on this channel. Nice Neopixels and a few of them. Can you imagine what this is for? This is for my new YouTube subscriber counter, because the old one has a major problem. It counts only to 99,999 subscribers, and I hope I will pass these 5 digits sometimes this autumn. So I have to build a new one with 1 digit more. And I thought, because the old one is only a single colored, I do also an upgrade to celebrate this important step. And I bought now Neopixels. I don't know how to drive them, but I'm sure I will find out. I have now 10 of them, so a few are spare, because I only will need 6. I will not build a 10-digit counter. This would be too much. Next one. These are 444 MHz receivers and also a sender. I want to try to build a receiver for my weather station using this 433 MHz receiver and a ESP32 or something. So we will see how, if this is possible. A few viewers asked if I want to replace my SDR receiver with a homemade receiver, and I will try that. Next one. This is an interesting thing which is not for everybody. It is only for licensed amateur radio operator, and it is an RF amplifier from 1 MHz to 1 GHz. So it can be used, for example, for 433 MHz. It has 3 watts output maximum. And you see 3 watts RF produces quite some heat already. Next one. These are SDR dongles. They are the better ones, the 820T2, which is a newer chip. This was developed to receive television signals. This is also why you get this remote control, but I don't need this remote control. I just want to have this SDR dongle. And I wanted to have one of the beta ones. I have already one with the, I think it was the T0 chip, and now I wanted to have also one with a T2 chip. You will see its appearance in the SDR video. The antenna which comes with it can be repurposed as a LoRa antenna, because it is about 12 centimeters, and a typical LoRa ground plane is shorter, so antennas which are shorter are always easy to produce. You just cut a part off, and it has a nice magnetic foot, so it can be placed on any iron metal because it fits there. Next one is not from China. It has nice stamps on it. It comes from Slovakia, and it is quite long. So you can imagine what it is. Yes, you're right, it is an antenna. Even more packaged. Really professional job, I think. If the antenna is as good as the packaging, I will be very happy with it, I'm sure. The next step of packaging, but still not done. Here are the radials. Incredible sticky thing. This is one of the hardest unpackagings I have done so far. This unpackaging left me completely speechless, as the batteries of my microphone did not survive it. So you get the further comment from the off. Summarized, we clearly have a winner. Slovakia is by far profounder in packaging than China. But this sticky tape did not help. It was just a pain in the da-da-da. Nevertheless, at the end, I had a very good looking antenna in front of me. It is of highest quality. I only have to add an N to SMA adapter and connect it to my vector network analyzer. And here came all the reward for this hard work. I never saw an antenna like that before. It has a VSWR of 1 at exactly the right frequency. Right out of the box, without any tweaking. This is incredible. This guy really knows how to build antennas. So I found my ideal antenna for my gateway. Because it is a collinear antenna, it even has a few dBi gain. If you use a few meters of cable from your gateway to this marvelous antenna, you respect the law. If not, you have to reduce the output power. The gain on the receiver side, however, belongs to you. This video ends with this big surprise. I hope it was useful or at least interesting for you. If true and you want to order one of these parts, please use the links in the description. It does not cost you more and you support the channel. Bye!